This is Kevin Howell, the One Eyed Scout. Watch the One Eyed Scout show on TAN TV. Connect on all social media outlets, including Roku, Amazon Fire Stick. Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll see you there.
This is Charles Graves from Quality Academy Prep. Thank you for tuning to TAN TV.
Hey, thanks everyone for joining. We got a really neat guest here tonight, Coach Hood from University of Central Florida. We've been friends for a minute, but I'm going to let him share a little bit about his background and what he's accomplishing.
No, I appreciate you. I know we do go back. Again, I'm blessed to be a part of this, and happy to see what you're doing. Again, you're doing it for a little bit different reasons than most. You have no dog in the fight, so the fact that you do this, and spend your time doing this, awesome. A little bit about myself. I'm originally from Mesquite, Texas. Just right outside of Dallas. Went to Poteet High School, played there, and ended up going to the Air Force Academy. Played 4 years there in the Mountain West. Was able to be a part of probably the winningest 4 years in Air Force basketball history. It wasn't me. I was with some really talented players, and it really taught, me the importance of just having the right people at the right spot. In the Mountain West, we're beating teams, we're beating Utah, or you're beating BYU, teams that just, have been really good. San Diego State, have been really good for a long time. But again, if you get the right collection of people, and looking back on that now, they did a great job evaluating talent. And so sometimes it's not always, the most popular kid. It's if you know what you're looking for, it works in your system. Those players can be effective and help you win games. And so I did that. I served in the Air Force for 5 years. Coached high school outside of Boston, coached AAU, Middlesex Magic, who's now an Under Armour team. Back then they weren't. Coached with them, same kind of management. Mike Crotty, he did a really good job with those guys. And then I got on college, went to Boston University. I was there for a couple years. And again, I'm really just sweeping the floor, turning on lights there. Started from the bottom for real. And I was special assistant to the head coach was my title. But again, I'm stapling papers. I'm doing mail outs back when you used to mail handouts to recruits and running our recruit database. And then I was able to get on at Columbia University with Kyle Smith. I was there for 2 seasons, helped break the wins record there with 25-10. And we won the CIT postseason tournament, which was the first tournament they'd ever won. And then from there I went to UTSA. I was with Steve Henson for 8 years. Had a heck of a run. Wish during the latter part we had a couple more wins, but we did a really good job of developing players. We were able to coach the number 1 and number 2 all-time leading scorers at UTSA, recruit and coach them, and that that's a blessing that doesn't happen very often. And I was able to latch on Central Florida in May. Coach Dawkins has been awesome. Very blessed to learn from one of the best, man. He's a legend. And again, I'm just blessed every day to be alongside him.
Well, first off, thanks for your service.
Yeah.
Secondly, one of those 2 guys is in the NBA right now. So let's don't gloss over that.
Yeah.
You're part of that. And we talk about collection of guys and evaluating talent. And that's kind of one of the things I want to kick off right now is, do you have a favorite position to recruit?
Honestly, I like recruiting shooters. Obviously, the more size that you have, the better. But shooting translates at any level. And if you look, even at the highest of levels, guys that can make shots usually find their way on the floor. And if you have, size for position, shooting ability, some defense paralysis, again, you usually have value at any level. And the guys that can do that, find their way on the college rosters and becoming professionals.
So let me ask you this. Remember an example of whenever we got to TABC, and then you got, 8, 10 courts at a time. What's the first thing you kind of notice once you walk into an event like that?
The first thing I'm looking for is size and shooting ability. So if you have size and can shoot, have some length, those are things that immediately jump off the page for me personally. I like guys who talk, guys that are really vocal because a lot of times freshmen just don't talk. And so
Hmm.
most of the time, guys that are talking have usually been exposed to higher levels of basketball. And for us at UCF, talking is everything defensively. So if you're
Hmm.
not talking, you're not hunting, you're not fighting, we're not getting kills, we're not winning games. So talking, young guys talking is a very, very important thing. And then the next thing I look for is passing. So again,
Hmm.
a lot of people, kind of gloss over that, but passing is one of the most underrated skills because it's it's kind of a lost art at times. Guys
Yeah.
aren't hitting guys on target, on time, and with passing comes shot selection. Uh,
Hmm.
and sometimes guys sometimes guys are volume scorers and they shoot a lot of shots, but sometimes it's hard to evaluate them because you don't know if they're shooting it because they don't know where the ball should go, or they're shooting it because they know the personnel and they're not going to pass to the guy because they can't make it. So it comes twofold. But as you're evaluating talent, those are some of the things that I look for.
You know, to be honest, a lot of what the recruiting we're looking at now is for the 26, 27 class. And so as these 26s, they go through their year and they're getting ready for summer, what what is some things that they should be getting ready to do to look to get on people's radar?
The first thing behind the scenes, they need to learn how to work, and that's the thing where it's a time where you can really make huge strides in your game and really, again, close the gap or lengthen the gap between you and
Hmm.
someone else. And so it's just working on the right things and it's working game speed. And that's what I see a lot of young players do is they may shoot in the gym, they may shoot 1,000 shots, but of those 1,000 shots, maybe only 50 of them are game speed. But then when you get in the
Yeah.
game, if it's not translated, if you're not shooting the same way, when you're practicing that you do in the game, then what are you really doing? And I just think sometimes guys do that, and sometimes guys don't know, what they should be working on. And if you ever have a question on that, it should be conditioning, shooting, ball handling, and I feel like guys should play pickup more. And if you can
Yes.
play with older guys, you can play with college guys, that's going to help you pros. That's going to help you a lot because the speed of the game with those guys is just a lot faster than the high school game. And once you're exposed to that, then the high school game can slow down for you faster. And the faster the game slows down, the more effective you can be because you can make your reads, you won't get sped up, and you can be more effective.
Yeah. This is the part where I shout out John Collins, JC, and his work. And it's funny to me, and I know you've seen it different places where guys these days are afraid of the work. They want to go somewhere that people are going to pat them on the back or not make demand things out of them. And that's why I keep imploring parents to find truth tellers, to find somebody that's going to give your kid that work. And well, I appreciate that because I know there's a 25 class is pretty solid, but there's some up and comers, 26 and 27 here in San Antonio. I think that 27 class is going to be the best in a while. All right, so how has the recruiting philosophy changed and in the past few years, 5 years since COVID? There's been a big change, uh, transfer portal, and how are y'all doing that there at UCF?
Well, really, the COVID just gave us access to older players. And
Hmm.
so it's kind of like, you know, do you want an 18-year-old? Do you want a 23-year-old? It's
Common
nothing.
sense.
Yeah, it's not rocket science, but everybody says get old and stay old. But
Hmm.
the thing that they are doing is they're increasing the scholarship limit from 13 to 15. So I think that does help high school kids because now you have two extra scholarships, and even us, like maybe you recruit 11 guys competing for spots, that you know of, and then you can take the other 4 and kind of take, maybe a flyer or take a kid with some upside, and hopefully they do pan out, and hopefully they can be in your program for multiple years, because, nowadays you're just trying to generate a roster each and every year that can compete at your level. And then it would also be good to have some, returning people that can kind of hopefully be in tune with what you're trying to do in your culture and how you do things, even some of the drills day to day. When you get a whole new group, you just assume you got to teach, you got to teach, you got to teach. And so having some carryover and having some guys that have been there and know the coaching staff and are aware of how we do things, that does have value. And the best thing about freshmen is they become sophomores, so, they really are able to make a huge jump in your game. A lot of times freshman and sophomore year, if you take that, opportunity to learn and to grow and really pay attention and learn how to watch film, learn how to work out, hit the weight room, gain some weight. And that's the thing is usually the freshmen that play are just more prepared body-wise or exposed to whatever level of basketball they've been playing, whether that's EYBL, whether that's Adidas, Under Armour, but a shoe circuit. Guys normally do have a little bit more of an advantage because just the resources that they're given. So they have, maybe more practice time, a little more structure, a little more scouting. And then us as coaches, we have access to their films, on synergy broken down for us. It can tell us, that that's an evaluation, it helps with the evaluation tool because it highlights what they do well, what they don't do well. And so you're already kind of getting a report card on someone. I don't agree with all of them, but you're getting a report card on some kids. So now it helps either, tell what you think is going on, or, tell you something different. And those are things that are a resource for guys playing at a high level of AAU. And
all right. I've got 2 questions to close out. All right. The first one, outside of basketball, what do you do for fun? What's your hobby?
Outside of basketball, I really like watching football, to be honest with you.
That's the Texas part.
Yeah, I had to, man. They gonna put you in a helmet and some pads as soon as you 6th grade, 5th grade, so I grew up playing football, and that was kind of my first love. I was a huge Deion Sanders fan.
Most definitely.
I had his shoes, and literally my shoe size was size 6, but 6.5 had his face on the bottom, so I would just had to get to 6.5, so I had his face on the bottom. But now I'm playing basketball in them too, so I played football and basketball in his shoes because, again, he was just one of the guys I looked up to. But no, I really like watching football. I got 2 young kids. So they like, going to ride go-karts and doing stuff like that. But again, just hanging out with my family, watching some football. I go to football games, going to UCF game this weekend. So again, really one of my hobbies. Huge Dallas Cowboys fan. So again, I'm really watching football and hanging out with the fam.
All right, man. So we're in Orlando. Disney's close by. What's the favorite part?
Honestly, I'm a Magic Kingdom guy. You know what I mean? Like Magic Kingdom is Old Faithful. I went to the Hollywood Studios. It was cool, but it wasn't Magic Kingdom, man. It wasn't Magic Kingdom. So again, if you're ever in Orlando, you got to stop by. It's a great experience. My kids loved it. I had fun. My wife had fun. It's just, again, the greatest place on earth. So
yes,
it brings a lot of smiles, and some of the rides are a little more intense than you think. I jumped on a couple without my kids, and I was like, they're 2 and 4, so it would have been a little too much for them. So
yeah. Hey, man, I'm so proud of you, and I appreciate you coming on. And we'll have to do this again later on during the season. And thanks for coming on, Coach.
No doubt. I appreciate it too. And like I said, anybody that you point my way, man, I definitely take a look and I evaluate them. Because again, I know you do your homework and you do a good job. So keep doing what you're doing. Like I said, obviously we'll be in touch like we always are. But no, thank you. And like I said, go Knights.
Cold nights.